galamsey
maybe near 2 minutes.
One of the major your friend is saying issues before the elections. It take the center stage. The catcher said that was the first time you're going to major elections and not economy crano, and yet the central team and they drive the conversation before elections. Now, galamsey issue because of the menace and now cause to our environment, some degradation. A lot of promises were made. President Mahama Baye, I think some initiatives have been implemented so far, but you see, what trick it down to the ground now. People who are involved in some of these things, they may have political careerization and as forth, but they are Ghanaians. They are hell bent on doing some of these things to destroy our land, and that is why those of us here want to see a certain action be a bit really down to the ground, making sure the very individuals now more involved in some of these things, we bring them to books.
Yeah.
That is the only thing. Obi to galamsey, ye ni MPP galamsey or MPP galamsey. All we know is that there are criminal elements on the ground. Some may take partisan colors and identity in the name of being able to, outweigh the system, whatever.
Sure.
But you see, if there is this commitment on the part of the state, say, hey, we are ready, going after these individuals, irrespective of whether you are NDC, MPP, then as a foreigner. Trust me, we will be able to deal with it because at this point in time, Nijebi, so you had degradation, quite recently, videos in as a foreigner. I understand government saying people want that shift kind of way. Who say the same energy, the same destiny is going into the ground, and the truth is, we can't wait. Because every single day, a land in Nasafon say, and these people over the years, but still, those activities are still continuing. So it means that at the national level, we need some kind of, policy orientation. The approach how we go about some of these things, never making sure that we deal with some of these things. The last time, so that may catch us say, you see, the issues like illegal mining and galamsey and to a certain extent, a byproduct of this massive unemployment situation. Oko Obuase and then the enclaves and other places. Galamsey is something we've been forefathers and on pass it on to their kid to some of them vocation, full-time vocation for them. So if you want to transition these people, say free the question is free that is why some initiative might also be available. Say once I will pulling the people out of this kind of activities, then you are ushering them into a certain vocation. That's a juma beer. More that kind of livelihood. And yes, man will do everything to survive. It's the reason why a soldier for the two chase a man for
man will do everything to survive.
Oh yes, definitely man will do everything to survive. And na soldier for the two na second a chase a man for yet they're still going. It means that we need to, look at our policy, directive once again. Now you're making sure that the policies are airbar that will deter people from going into the bush. And aside that, and also there is this opportunity, social incentive, and also some opportunities are available. Those who go into some of these things, then they win off from some of these things. Boys now who are more say I'm they don't own anything. For daily bread. That is why they go there. And the Yabako site, there are the very people we arrest near jail. But these people don't own concession. On Nisika they talk caterpillar, on Nisika the high. Because a human onya ade ordinary life by so they go to this site sebaya obaba fie numre no wanya bibi. But the very people who are involved in some of these things are the major campaigns asabi omu bibidi. They are the very people who are able to finance these Chinese, bring them into this country and make sure they do some of these things. So I think as a country, kasa na doso. We need that kind of direction. They making sure these are the new policy initiative tackling this kind of menace. And we just need to make sure we enforce some of the these are red zones. Galamsey or minor and so I understand the president says yeah the Mrabi Beba or in such a way say people will be doing mining, but that will be illegal mining. That mining, you know, and affect your friends because the sense in it is say gold no from no way day too.
Yeah, sure.
And why don't you find a way of making sure say they do it right? You understand? The last time I proposed to say there are ways we can do some of these things because the state can form your friends say companies, enterprises and then the in charge of some of these things. You can bring people who are more expertise in these areas and every region, you know, JB. We can employ young people into some of these your friends say enterprises. They will do responsible mining and say because whenever you create a vacuum, no, it will be filled. So why don't you fill it yourself by making sure say at every regional level, no, you have some of these companies out there that will employ about 5,000 or maybe 1,000 and over young people that will go into some of these things and do it right, making sure say the state can account for it, and these people will find something very reasonable to do rather than say level 8 to individuals. Or mono will just take advantage, go into some of these things, and mine at the end of the day, you know, degradation, you know, Ghana for Ankasa because in so say the many people who are whole consequences. Nancy, you who cry or more hospitals. Your friend is saying, Yaria, obit me or will be in a soon, but will be in the all because of some of these poison I cause away young swim and Sase, then I say for chemicals, I gum because these people want to get the gold at all costs. So they don't care what they do. So I think that you see some of these menace we cannot allow it to as a fester and as a flourish. We need to highlight it and make sure say every single measure be available be stop some of these things, you know. We need to do just to ensure say these things, you know, become a thing of the past because galamsey so what her for fast or no. Now what site no who kwan for some so funtam nsase now be say how long can they take for some of these things to recover say it's mind boggling and it doesn't make sense anymore. Ghana for before the election so the kind of discussion that course within the space you could see say every single person is quite worried about the level of difference and degradation, but the problem is that before elections, you know, we saw a large number of people known powerful people who were sponsoring and pushing people into some of these things to do the galamsey. Until say we hold these people to account for the many crimes they committed against the state, you know, it will be an incentive for people to also go there. I make catch because in the past there were video evidence, there were recordings, there were a lot of evidence and they are available indicating some individuals at the high hierarchy of power were involved in some of these things. At the end of the day, if these people are going to go scot-free, then it will serve as a motivation for some people who also take advantage. Say, okay, so you see that kind of thing because some people did it in the past, nobody punished them, evidence were available, they went scot-free. So at the end of the day, you know, there is enough motivation and incentive for other people to also get into some of these things and do. And for me, I think that we need to put a stop to some of these things because we cannot continue to allow our environment your friends are man for best subjecting to this kind of way.